Hi there, my name is John. This is my 2013 170 Sprinter van with the V6. Got lots of storage. I tried to utilize every square inch of available space throughout the van. This extends the whole length of the cupboard. A little kitchen area. I've got a water jug underneath here. I've got a hot water tank underneath here. My propane is under here. So this is a 4-gallon electric tank. I can plug it in. I can actually plug it in on a hot sunny day. I can plug it into my inverter and actually heat my hot water that way as well. Or I can plug it into shore power. And then I can also heat it with the diesel hot water heater. And it's a plein air heater. There's the heater vent is right here. And the heater is actually underneath here for both the hot water and for the furnace. This is the hot water, this is the furnace. It's got the very simple, easy to operate control switch, which I really like because I had the more complicated one in the last van and it was not fun. Go Solar is a local solar company right in Chemainus. So I have a 330 watt panel on the roof. I have their charge controller, which is a fairly common one. My fridge, I did actually purchase a bigger fridge. I'm going to remake this cabinet. I've got, when my new fridge comes in, I'm going to have to lose this drawer, but I'm going to have a lot more fridge space. Lots of lighting. I got the LED strip lights underneath here. These are Home Depot puck lights. This is a bed, can be a bed. This also can slide out. Because this is a work van slash camper van, I have my work stuff underneath here. Eventually I'm going to put some doors on here, but it's nice when I do a camping road trip, I can just take the pipe, I take the pipe out and I have more storage. All these cupboards are closed. This table easily removes, easily slides. I spend a lot of time by myself, so I'll usually prepare my meals and then use this as extra counter space, or when I'm ready to eat, I just slide it over. Got these reading lights, which when this light's not on, this is the perfect light just to light up the eating area. I got a bunch of these RAM mounts. So this is an iPad holder, works really good. So when I'm in bed, I can have the iPad right over top of my head. Bluetooth speaker. I love these computer fans. They just give you a little bit of air, and then they're super cheap. And at night, it kind of drowns out the noise. Wherever you're parked, if it's noisy, it kind of just makes white noise. Max Air fan. Love this thing. It's got a lot of hours on it because in the summertime, it's basically on day and night. Lots of storage. I'll show you the back in a minute here. This is another 18 inches, plus there's a good 3 more feet on the other side of this wall. So I got a ton of storage. This wood is pre-finished birch. I really like working with this because it's finished already. You can paint it if you scuff it up. You can also vinyl wrap it. It looks really good when you vinyl wrap it. And you can buy on Amazon or eBay, you can buy vinyl wrap reasonably cheap. If you wanted to change the color or just have different unique colors. This stuff here, I found in a plywood supplier out of Langley, and it's paper backed, 3/16 lightweight. I love that it breaks up all the wood, and it's easy to clean. It's easy to work with. It's 3/16. It's light. Simple little latches. They work really good. They're fairly simple to install. You got to do a little bit of hole saw action. A few hooks, the magnet for, this is all my cutlery. I have a couple extra spare knife and fork. If my wife's with me, we have some extra stuff in here. I've got lots of drawers, lots of storage. Behind is the shower. No latch to snag on as you walk by, so I just open it like that. And that's my shower door. This here is actual flooring. It's vinyl plank flooring. So it's never going to rot, it's plastic. It interlocks. I put a little bead of silicone in there, but I don't even think it's necessary. The way the lap joint works, it goes up and overlaps so that I doubt it would ever be an issue. Got another little Amazon fan that works really well. Plastic Home Depot flooring. I did have a custom stainless drain pan made. It is 26 deep is what the Thetford toilet is, and then it is 37 wide, so it gives you lots of room. It's actually, I had a camper before this, and it's a way more room than what my camper had. Toilet, very simple, common Thetford toilet. It's got a black water tank underneath. This is RV faucet, very simple. They're like 20 bucks. What I like about this over a regular shower valve is it doesn't need to be recessed in the wall. So my wall thickness is basically 1 inch thick, 3/4 inch wood on the outside, and then this stuff on it, and that's it. Shower head, Amazon again. Toilet tank comes out of here. With this placement, I can just slide it right out the door. I have lots of room to deal with it. I've got a curtain, and this was a house curtain that I had. I cut it down, didn't do the greatest job cutting it down, but it was just thrown in there. One day I'm going to do a thicker, heavier curtain. So I install built-in vacuum systems occasionally. I don't do it full-time anymore. All of the stuff that I need fits back here. I leave it in most of the time unless I'm doing extended camping trips, and then I can pile this, and usually there's way more room in here than I need for all of my camping gear, and my barbecue and my chairs and stuff like that is probably all I really use it for. But a mountain bike will hang there. This tire will hang up on that side. I could probably put 2 bikes in there if I really needed to. A little bit you can see up in the corner there, but the whole van is spray foam, the doors, everything, right to the windshield. It was quite the process. It was a big mess. I love it, but it does, I don't know if you can see it in this daylight, but it does leave the panels a little wrinkly. I still recommend it. I think in the winter months, the coldest, it was like -7 to -10 overnight, and I had to have the windows open to regulate the heat, otherwise it would be too hot. I built this van for working out of town. I spend probably 2 or 3 days every other week working out of town. I wanted to be able to shower in the city without having to go to gyms or go, to friends' houses or anything like that. I'm basically all self-contained. I got all my material on board for work. I've got all my food. I can go to Vancouver, work for 3 days, and I might go to Tim Hortons for a coffee or something, but it's rare that I spend any money when I'm on the road. I've got enough water. If I conserve my water, I could probably go 4 or 5 days showering every day. The reason I laid it out the way it is I had a similar van that worked really well. It wasn't as big as this, and I couldn't stand up in it, but it had similar layout, and I was used to how much I could carry in there for my clothes and for, food and storage and stuff like that. So when I bought this van, I pretty much had the layout already figured out in my mind, other than, the dimensions of it once I started to build. I would like to have a little bit more counter space, but I can do add-ons and stuff like that. This table was actually an afterthought that I just whipped together right before I went on a trip, and I was gonna change it up, and it works so well that it gives me my counter space, it gives me my table eating area, so it works out really well for that. And some of the stuff I originally bought the van 2 years ago. It took me probably 2 months before I even started working on it, and then I spent 3 months building it. And I just kind of would go to different places and get different ideas, and YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest, and got me an idea what type of materials I wanted to use. There was a few things that I knew I wanted, like the roof fan. I had the same one in my last van, worked awesome. I would like some windows in here. I did purchase some windows, but I haven't got around to the long, skinny ones that I'm going to eventually put in here. I just haven't got around to doing it. A little bit more airflow would be nice. A little bit of visibility, but not a ton. So I think I'm really looking forward to getting those installed.
A lot of people, when they get Sprinter vans, they really like the aspect of how it looks like a construction van.
That's right, yeah.
Is that something that was...
It originally was. It's fairly stealth as it is. When I go to job sites, people usually... I rarely get questioned about it being a motorhome or, camperized. People will notice the solar panel. That's about it. And that's if you're up on the second story or higher of a building that I'm working in. And then the roof vent. And I keep the roof vent open 99% of the time. And I used to be all about being stealth, but it really doesn't matter. No one's going to bother me. I've not been bothered. And I have probably spent, in the last 2 years, I would say 3 months in here. And no one's bothered me. And I've been, anywhere in Vancouver, you can just pull over and turn the engine off and you're fine. I try not to park in front of people's houses, but it's pretty easy to find parking. I don't sweat it. If you have never been in a van, you basically just set it up, camp in it as long as you can to, figure out what design you like or what's going to work for you. Change some stuff around, try some things. If you can find, what you like already built, that would be a big money savings. But if you've, like, my build is really specific to me, so it wouldn't be, I doubt I could find anything that would fit my needs. Whereas, if there's a lot of, in pretty much every van build I've seen has got a, built for each person's needs, which is perfect because it works for them.
What do you think are the biggest benefits of van life?
Not having to pay rent. I can't imagine in this day and age paying rent, like outrageous amounts of rent. You could make a healthy van payment and insurance and still probably be cheaper than rent. I bet you could live in Vancouver cheaper in a van than you could live out in the valley for renting. And the new place every day, you don't have to, you don't have to put up with the landlord. You don't have to put up with, having to move every year. You move in every day.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges of this lifestyle?
I thought that I would, be bored, but I seem to, the days fly by. I don't miss sitting, watching TV really. You can get plenty of, entertainment from Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff like that on your iPad. I'm at a point in my life where when I go to work, I'm lucky I can condense it in, 2 or 3 days and not have to work for, 10 days. So that works out really good for me. I quite enjoyed working like that. If I had to go get a regular job where, I'd have to work 40 hours to make the same amount of money. But the downside is when I have to go to work, I have to go and travel. And sometimes there's no notice, sometimes there's lots of notice. It just depends. But I'm fortunate that I don't have a lot of bills and overhead. So, with the van life, I can, I'm free to travel. If I, decide I want to go somewhere, go check out new places or whatever. In the winter, I usually get the urge to go down south. Last Christmas, we spent in Death Valley. I go to Utah quite a bit. I'm looking forward to doing that again this winter, probably February, March, something like that. I'm going to do a 2 or 3 week trip down there, and I don't have to book off work. I just it works out that if it's slow and there's nothing going on, I can go. So it works out really good.
And where can people find your work online?
I have an Instagram. It's J5 Custom Vans. It's a new venture of mine that I'm hoping to not have to go out of town to work. I've started building vans for other people recently. I've done 4 or 5 vans for customers, from minivans to full-size vans to, I'm going to start a ProMaster build pretty quick here, 2019 ProMaster. And then I do have a bunch of pictures on my Instagram. And then, yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode in the Alternative Dwelling series. If you wanted to see more, a playlist is popping up right now where you can watch every episode we've ever made. Don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button, and check out the links in the description if you want to support this channel and this show. And we'll see you next Monday for another episode of Alternative Dwellings.